resistance is suffering. Anytime you have felt any pain in your life, it is because of resistance. You are pushing against what is, and you are not accepting life. And today we're going to talk about why we do this and how to let go of resistance. All right, so the first thing we need to understand is, why do we do this? Why do we push against what is? We do it because we think it's going to help us. We think that if we push against what is, it's actually going to help us not get in deeper with maybe a relationship that we're in, or we can feel very dignified in feeling like we're in the right and someone else is in the wrong. There are lots of reasons, we all know them, but we do it essentially because we think it's going to help us, right? And I want to ask you, has it actually ever helped you? The answer is no. Resistance never helps. It helps you feel more pain. So if that's what you're after, by all means, continue to resist. Resist away. But if you want to feel better and you want to alleviate that pain and that suffering, then what we need to do is change the behavior. And the definition of insanity, right, is when we do the same thing over and over again and we expect a different result. So we've all been doing this. Most of us have been doing this, resisting, most of our lives, and we keep doing it over and over and over again. We expect different results, but we're not getting anywhere. So we need to start incorporating and integrating a new behavior. And that behavior is going to liberate you. It is going to free you. I want to give you a really bizarre analogy. We're all very visual people. This analogy came to me at 3 a.m. the other night when I was thinking about making this video for everyone. And so here it is. The analogy is, imagine that you are this little amoeba, this little ball, right? And you've got all these little tubes sticking out of you. Some of them are really thick and wide, and some of them are narrow. And you've got hundreds of these tubes. And there are these little receptor sites, right? And we're experiencing life through taste and touch and smell and sound and sight. And all this information is coming in through those tubes constantly, all the time. And it's not too far off from the way that this body works, in the sense that we have all these different energy pathways. And they're either open or, closed and blocked. So what happens is if we go back to this analogy of this little guy, and anytime something happens in the world that we don't like and we push against, imagine that a little pebble comes flying into one of your tubes. It goes in there and it gets stuck, right? And it blocks that little energy pathway. And you feel weighed down by this little tiny pebble. And okay, it's one little tiny pebble, so we can deal with it. But you know how the experience goes, right? You've got like a little pebble in your foot, you've been hiking in the mountains, and it starts to drive you crazy after a while. It's in your sock, and it's just the only thing you can think about. So even little tiny blockages in our tubes can really start to drive us nuts. And you can imagine that the severity of something like losing a loved one, for example, is like a boulder coming through one of your larger tubes and blocking you and hitting you right here in the heart. And you're carrying that weight around you all day, every day. And this is what depression feels like, right? This is why we feel so weighed down by life, by our circumstances, by certain people around us, and situations that we can't change, that we can't accept. So the key here is, how can we let go of all of these pebbles and boulders and accumulated debris that is in these energy pathways? And the way we do that is by letting go, right? We let go of those blockages, of that resistance. And I am not asking you to just succumb to what is and accept it and settle, because that is an awful feeling. What I'm asking you, or what I'm going to explain to you and teach you how to do, is very different. We're going to embody a different type of behavior. And that's going to happen because we're going to start to see things differently. And remember, a change in perception is the root of all change. So what we're going to do is we are going to start recognizing that through awareness, we can start to see everything around us as magnificent. And we do this because we can embody the feeling that we used to have as children. I want you to get into that state of the innocence and wonder that a child has, because we were all children at one point, right? So we can get back to that place if we just allow ourselves to get back there. And you can start to look around you and notice the wonder in the littlest things. You can be going for a walk. I was doing that this morning, and I looked down and I thought, wow, this leaf is red now, and that one is yellow, and it's so beautiful. Look how it changed. It used to be green, and now it's all these different colors. I know these things seem really simple, but there is so much beauty and magic in the world if we are just training ourselves, relearning how to see differently. And we can do this. We can do this because we used to be children. Remember, this is not some far off ask. Your life will start to feel completely different when you appreciate all of the little things in your life and all of the people around you. There's so much to see and be grateful for. And what happens then is you start to live a life that is so full of gratitude. You become grateful for the littlest things, the tiniest little gestures. And people start to feel great around you because they start to realize that you're grateful for so little. You know, most people it takes a lot for people to be grateful, right? But you can walk around and start to just appreciate everything. And you do this because you know that this is going to free you up. It's going to free up all of those pathways. And life is going to start flowing through you again. You're going to have more energy. You're going to feel lighter, clearer. And most of all, you're going to trust in life. You're going to remember that you are life. You don't have a life. Life is happening for you, not to you. And so you start to flow and things start to happen and synchronicities start to come together in your life. And you live this very surrendered life of allowing. And it's such a beautiful way to live because you've let go of control. And it all feels so counterintuitive, but I really encourage you to try doing this. And you can start really small. Just think of doing little tiny things, maybe even just once a day, and start to get amazed and see the magic in things. See the divinity in everything around you. Because that conscious awareness is all pervasive. Remember, it's everywhere, in everything. It's in this chair that I'm sitting on. It's on the screen. It's on this table. It's in my heart. It's in the lights. It's everywhere. It's in you. It is you. You are it. So there is so much magic to notice everywhere. And this is where we need to start putting our focus and our attention, because remember, we live in a holographic universe. Everything that we see is just a reflection of what we are feeling and thinking inside. There's nothing that we don't experience that has to go through us first. So every single thing that we feel, be it good or bad, is coming through us. And then everything we're seeing outside of us is because of what we believe and feel and think inside of us. So if we can start to shift our perception and see the divinity in everything around us, you can imagine the different type of life that you're going to lead. And most of all, this is the way to free yourself from pain. Pain is going to happen, right? This world is full of change and pain and things that we don't know, like we don't know what's going to happen next. And there's a certain level of uncertainty that it's certain that things will be uncertain. And that is definitely not an easy thing to understand in life. And there's a lot of pain that can surround that feeling constantly. And so we can either choose to put our focus and our energy there, or we can try to see the beauty and the divinity in everything around us. And this is going to completely open you up. open you up to all sorts of amazing, magical things that are going to happen in your life. Truly, truly miraculous things. So please, I encourage you to try this. If you have questions, if you need clarity about what I'm talking about, I will make another video. But I just wanted to simply put this out there that we are unnecessarily resisting because it actually isn't helping us. What is going to help us is to shift our perception and to start seeing the wonder and the magic and the beauty and the miracles that are all around us. That is what's going to lift the resistance in your life. And all of that debris is going to just come flying out. And you're going to feel so light. And life is going to always be happening for you because you're allowing it to do that for you. Do you realize the difference between pushing away and not trusting life? And then the difference is you're allowing life, you trust in it so much that it is always doing things for you. That is how things are going to show up for you in the way that you want them to. It is always there. Life is always there, purely, graciously loving you and supporting you. And I know it doesn't seem that way, but we do not always have the bigger picture. We're not seeing things from this bird's eye view. And if we can just trust and allow that we can't see that way, some of us can, but not all of us. And when we can't see that way, then trust and allowing is the most beneficial way of being. I love you all. I really hope that this helped. If it did, please like and subscribe. I'll be releasing another video next week. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. Mwah.